Actually, there are two ways or several ways of going into business and doing business.
Okay.
Generally, people say, oh, I'm going into business to make profit, to make money. But when you are working with the value chain concept, what you think about is beyond making money. You want to affect lives. You want to add value to lives. Of course, eventually you will make money, but you will make beyond money. Because you are going to have a business that is so well run and it can be replicated and it becomes bigger than what you started with. What we have around here mostly is people say, oh, I'm going into this business. Why are you going into it? Oh, I want to make profit. I want to make money. I want to be wealthy and things like that. Those things are okay. But your vision can be bigger than that. To say, look here, I want to fill a need. There's a need I've identified. And I want to fill that gap. I want to add value to lives. And in doing it, I'm going to work with others. I'm going to work with resources, both physical resources, human resources, and so on. And if I'm working with the value chain concept, I'm very careful in selecting the resources I work with. Because I'm not just interested in making profit, but I want to make profit in such a way that consumers are not harmed in any way, to ensure that my workers are not harmed in any way, to ensure that I actually add value to the Nigerian state, so that others can learn how to do it the way I'm doing it. So what I'm trying to say is that you can do a business and just make profit. And when people consume your product, they don't remember you. They just say, did you enjoy that? It's okay. But you can actually consume a product and you say, goodness gracious, who made this product? Did they know that they just made it just for me? And it's not just for you. It's just that the way the producer or the owner of the business has conceptualized the business is in such a way that when every consumer consumes his or his product, they feel that it was tailor-made for them. Because attention has been given to production, to processing, to delivery, to marketing, to everything about the life of that product. You will make profit where you make beyond profit. If you start a business and you decide that, look, I'm going to rely on this value chain concept, what it does for you is that even before you start making the product, you think, what are the needs of the people? You are not going to decide what their needs. Yes, what are their needs? How far has businesses that exist met those needs? How have they met the needs? What are the gaps in place? How do we fill those gaps? And then you spend time to say, what are the kinds of resources I will require to meet those needs that have been identified? One of the resources you require are raw materials. Yeah. When you are choosing your raw materials, assuming that they've been consuming this product for a while, but they are not just happy, but they are using it because they don't have an option. But here you come with this value chain concept. And you said, at the beginning, I'm going to select my raw materials that will have so much impact that they won't even remember using any other brand before. They will only remember mine. That means that your selection of raw materials is going to be of a certain standard. A standard that you have set from the beginning. Knowing that that first stage of selection of raw materials is going to impact on the process, which is the intermediary stage. Whatever you feed into the process is what will come out as an output at the end. So if you select the raw materials in terms of maybe cassava, you select the good ones, or yams, or rice, when you process it, the end product will be good. But if you select the rotten ones thinking that, oh, when I process, nobody will know, then when you finish it, people will tell you that we tasted it, something didn't taste right. So in the chain, your raw material selection is important. Your staff is important. Those you work with is important. Because it must be people that share this value with you of the chain concept, of the need to deliver to consumers what will benefit them and maximize their utility. So you have to select people not based on, is my brother, he needs a job. You must select competent people, professional people like yourself. Unless, of course, you yourself, you are not so serious. But if you are serious about it, you select the right materials in terms of things, human materials, and any other inputs you need to put in. And then when you move these materials to the process stage, process is when you actually go into production and you are using some technology. You will use the kind of technology that will lead to an output that you desire. There are different kinds of technologies. That's why in contemporary world, sometimes we Africans, we Nigerians, we process things using the traditional way of doing it. and we get an output that the world may not accept.
And we expect the output that will compete
With
other people from other parts of the world.
Exactly. But using the value chain means that at every stage of the chain, you must prevent the weak link from drawing you down. If technology is your weak link, you are in trouble. Because if, for example, you are into textile, and you go to Lagos State, you are in textile, like Kaduna State, they are into they want to make textiles and so on. They don't create cotton, they don't make cotton, they don't produce cotton. But Gombe produces cotton. Kaduna can go to Gombe and say, look here, we hear that you produce high quality cotton. Can you work with us?
Or give them a specification.
Yes, specification. And then we guarantee that you will have demand for your products, because we will collect that product as intermediate products that we will use to make fabrics. So you can actually now go to the end users. Lagos is one of your end users. What kind of fabrics do you need? They give you specification.
Or you talk to some traders.
You talk to some traders, exactly.
What's the consumer behavior
yes.
like? And
what do they want? What are their expectations? What kind of quality do you want? You make a choice. And based on what they tell you, you go back to Gombe and say, please, I want this grade of cotton. Because the final producers want this type of fabrics. And Gombe will work with you. You work together. Then you will now process that into the kind of fabrics that your end users want. But if you say, well, Gombe makes cotton, I can also make cotton, I'll grow my own cotton. Forgetting that Gombe has an advantage in making cotton because they are in the drier part of the north. If you grow cotton in Kaduna, it will not be like the one that comes from Gombe. So
because the process has been tinkered with.
Exactly.
Due to the soil formation.
Exactly. So in terms of value chain, it's a stakeholder kind of concept, whereby you are not doing everything by yourself, but you have a vision, you have a plan. You select people you work with. You select inputs you work with, so that you can arrive at the kind of products that consumers have asked for. And when you have satisfied your consumer, you go back to the consumer, have we done what you expected? And they said, yes, but in this area there was a problem. You quickly come back and correct it. So the beauty of value chain is that it allows you to recognize the importance of every stage of the life of the product.
Every stage.
Yeah, every stage. From conceptualization to production, to processing, to marketing, post-sales behavior of consumers, and so on.
Even the store behavior.
Exactly.
When customers come into the store.
Yes, the behavior of the salespersons and so on. All of these are part of the chain. Small scale entrepreneurs, for example, small scale businesses, one-man business, they don't need to do very big research.
Okay.
When you sit in front of your shop, you are starting a business, and you ask people that pass by that, what kind of thing do you want? This pure water they are making, they used to put it in sachet, they tie it. But it was from talking to people that they got the idea of sealing it. Yes,
True.
Yes, the improvements they have made comes from people, and that is research. It may not have cost a lot of money.
Because the average person thinks in terms of research, in terms of some scholar with volumes and reams of papers and charging exorbitant amounts to go to the field and gather. So research could be as simple as observation.
Observation. You could observe. What is it?